Hello, interior design students. Just want to remind you we are in week 1, begins today, of the history of interior architecture and furnishings. I want to encourage you to post early and often to the Canvas discussion board. This is very important to mark your attendance in the class. Remember, we're a fully online class, so it's going to take motivation and commitment to remember that you are in class and log in and post your responses to all the parts of the discussion boards each week. The initial post is due Thursday midnight, and this week's a little bit shorter, so Thursday midnight, you should respond to all the prompts in the discussion board. And by Saturday midnight, be sure to respond to 2 other students' responses on the discussion board. It would be important for you to review the elements of interior design, the elements that are important to all designs. Right here, I'm just going to focus a few minutes on the golden mean. The golden mean is a ratio or formula used to create pleasing designs of interior space. This takes into consideration the proportions of the room and how a room functions and feels. The golden ratio is applied in the height of a ceiling, which should never be greater than the width of the room. Furniture, if against the wall furniture and accessories, should take up less than 60% of the width of the wall space. One should consider the placement of accessories like art, plants, and mirrors to match these proportions. Accessory heights, for instance, a faux plant should also take up roughly 60% of wall height where possible. A designer should consider the height of lamps and hanging ceiling lights and the proportions of color to patterns. Proportions of drapery above a window can have a significant effect on the final look of a room. So be aware that the golden mean is a ratio that's extremely important to interior design. Important to know the elements and principles of design: space, lines, form and shape, pattern, light, color, and texture. If you look at the element of space, empty space gives a room an open feel. This is often called negative space. The space filled with decor, such as living room furniture, is called positive space. An open concept style home, the walls are removed, making your brain feel like the space is larger than it would be if there were walls. This is just one example of how interior design works on the brain. In addition to thinking about the positive and negative space, in a 2D floor plan, an interior designer has to think about the space above the furniture. Lines, horizontal, vertical, and diagonal curving lines can be very dynamic. So vertical lines provide a more earthy, secure, cozy feel, a more stable feel. Horizontal lines are more tranquil. They ground the space and make it feel wider and more expansive. Lines have an effect on the eye, perpendicular to horizontal lines. Vertical lines draw your eyes upward. For example, if your home boasts amazing tin ceiling or some kind of ceiling treatment, a good interior design will incorporate vertical lines that subconsciously lift our eyes up. So dynamic lines, these also suggest movement, energy, and stimulation. So please be aware of the element of line when you are thinking or observing different interior spaces. Form and shape are very important elements. Lines that produce a shape, or they're called a form or develop a form, whether horizontal, vertical, or dynamic, they give birth to shapes. Shapes can either be geometric, angular, or naturally curved. They can also be open or closed. Interior designers can mix and match forms to achieve a feel in a room, whether it be earthy, modern, warm, or cool. The element of pattern should be considered. Patterns accentuate a certain part of your interior. Could be the ceiling, the stairs, or walls. Could be wallpaper. Patterns don't have to be married to the walls. You can use them anywhere, from the grain of wood to the picture frames to drapes, pillows, and more. Light is very important. Light can set the mood. Natural light can represent warmth and happiness, while artificial fluorescent light feels cold. Natural light can show off paint colors or highlight a certain piece of furniture. Custom homes can position the windows and doors perfectly to allow the right amount of light to cascade upon any interior space. Lighting can be task lighting, which helps to accomplish tasks like desk lighting, overhead lighting for the kitchen. Accent lighting, indicating a focal point in the home if you want to showcase an art piece, some sculpture. And ambient lighting can be rather soft and enhance a space overall. Color and texture. Different colors inspire different feelings. Green suggests tranquility and peace, while red is intense and represents hunger, and purple represents royalty. Important to be cognizant of the color palette you want to use. And then consider the texture. Texture can be visual texture or actual texture, and good designers can use them both to create a desired effect. I want you to be aware this week we're going to begin with the forming of architectural elements. We look at from antiquity with the Egyptians, Mesopotamian cultures, ancient Greece, and we'll get into ancient Rome. So learn to observe architectural elements during this semester when you're out and about or in a structure. You might look for columns. Engaged columns are attached to the wall, as you can see in the picture here. And then the capitals. Sometimes capitals are very ornate. The capital is the top of the column. You might see some ancient, which are repeated in particularly colonial buildings. Dental, looks like teeth, dental moldings. So these classical elements continue to be in use today. Furniture, learn to recognize styles of furnishings. And these are carried over from classical times. We see a Greek sculpture here with the Klizmos chair. And here's a Klizmos chair offered by Wayfarer. And folding benches, which you'll see in ancient Egypt and Greece and Mesopotamia. So be on the lookout for these classical elements on furniture. Sometimes in the colonial period, it's called neoclassical elements. You might see them on chairs, tables. You'll see column treatments, trimming a piece of furniture. You'll have columns and capitals on entryways. You might see that pediments, triangular pediments here. So be on the lookout for these elements this week and get started. So be sure that you are posting to the discussion board on time and submitting assignments. I will be looking for your introductions, and I wish you all a good, successful week 1. All the best.